Yeah, it's supposed to be that picture.
Okay. Catherine? Oh, there's more people. Hi.
If you were visible, you'd be able to see that.
All right. Chamber. Hi, Emmett. I'm glad you're here. We're just waiting for a few more people. Can you hear that jingling sound? We're going to find out what that noise is coming, where that noise is coming from in just a minute. You know, it's a really interesting day today. I was out walking Sam and it was kind of rainy and kind of sprinkly, but it looks like it's clearing up. So maybe we'll be able to get out and play some more in the backyard if you guys are getting outside too. All right, it's just almost time. We'll wait for a few more friends. If you look up on our kitchen counter, there is a cookie jar. Oh my goodness, it looks kind of like a, it's a cat up there. How fun. When our boys were little, they'd open up the cat and sure enough, there should be a cookie in there, but I think they're all gone. So I'll have to refill that. Maybe this afternoon I can bake some cookies. And so when we get together next and the boys can have a free cookie from grandma or mom. Okay, I'm looking at the clock and it looks like we're almost ready to start. Oh, you know what? That noise has really got me curious. I think I'm gonna have to come. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh my goodness. Hey, there we go. Now we're set. Hi everybody, it's Jenny. I'm here.
Hold on, Jenny. Can you hear me now?
Are we okay, Catherine?
We are okay. Is it all right if I start you?
Yeah.
I am so sorry.
No, I'm so glad that we connected. So all I'm gonna do is, how should I look into the screen though? Because I keep looking at myself. Should I not look at myself?
I would look kind of into the camera if you can.
Okay, which is up on the top.
Yep. Yeah, there, that's perfect.
Okay, great.
And you have your chat window open on the right side?
On the right side.
On the bottom, there's a chat bubble and you click on that.
Okay, so it's an orange box that says chat. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Just click on that.
And then that opens the side window.
Okay, where's the side window now?
Oh, there should be a chat open window.
I'm not seeing that. I see this Zoom webinar chat and you can exit out of it. Hi, Teacher Jenny meets here. Do I want to? Is that the window I'm looking for? It's a little box.
Yeah.
But it's sitting right in the middle of the screen.
Oh, well, then you should be able to slide it over.
Okay.
I'm going to do a message here so you can see it.
There we go. Now it's over to the side.
Great.
Okay.
Can you see my hi, Jenny?
I see your, I don't see your hi, Jenny. No. Oh, yes, I do. I'm so sorry.
Yep. Okay. You're live.
Okay. Hi, everybody. It's Jenny. And guess what? Today we're going to have some fun stories about, you're right, cats. Well, we have a dog at home, and I know if Sam were awake right now and he heard a cat bell, he would probably be over here sniffing and barking, but fortunately, he's sleeping. Okay, well, today we have two wonderful stories about, you got it, cats. Okay, I'm going to put down my friend here. In fact, this was one of my special puppets I had when I was a little kid, but I wanted to keep it, thinking that one day maybe I could play with it again, and today was the perfect day. Okay. Let's take a look at the stories that we've got here. We've got one that I think is a wonderful story. It's called Millions of Cats by Wanda Gag. And you know what? This story was written long time ago, even before I was born, but it's a great one. And I remember reading it to the kids that I used to babysit across the street, and I think that's what got me hooked on it. The other story we're going to read today is a story called, whoops, Socks. In fact, this book was my book when I was a little kid. Let's look inside because it's pretty ancient. Oh my gosh, look at it, it's taped. And I think it even has some scribbles in it. Well, we're going to enjoy these stories, so get settled. And here we go. Millions of Cats by Wanda Gag. Oh my gosh, look at all the people that are coming in. Hi, Ellie. Hi, Elijah. Hi, everybody. Here's the title page, Millions of Cats by Wanda Gag. And Wanda made the illustrations too. Isn't that cool? All right. Millions of Cats. Once upon a time, there was a very old man and a very old woman. Hi, Bronwyn. And a very old woman. They lived in a nice, clean house, which had flowers all around it, except where the door was. But they couldn't be happy because they were very lonely. You know what? I think that's why people are getting on Zoom and people are texting each other and people are writing letters to each other and maybe yoo-hooing across the street to each other because it's a nice way to stay connected. Let's find out what the little old woman and the little old man do to take care of their loneliness. If we only had a cat, sighed the very old woman. A cat? Asked the very old man. Yes, a sweet little fluffy cat, said the very old woman. I will get you a cat, my dear, said the very old man. And he set out over the hills to look for one. He climbed over the sunny hills. He trudged through the cool valleys. He waited a long time and walked, and at last he came to a hill which was quite covered with cats. Oh my goodness. Cats here, cats there, cats and kittens everywhere. Hundreds of cats, thousands of cats, millions and billions and trillions of cats. Oh my goodness. He got more than he ever expected. Oh, cried the old man joyfully. Now I can choose the prettiest cat and take it home with me. So he chose one. It was white. But just as he was about to leave, he saw another, and all black and white, just as pretty as the first. So he took this one also. But then he saw a fuzzy gray kitten way over here, which was every bit as pretty as the others. So he took it too. And now he saw one way down in a corner, which he thought too lovely to leave. So he took this too. Oh my goodness, it's hard to make your very best choice, isn't it? Because other choices come along that seem just as good. And just then, over here, the very old man found a little kitten which was black and very beautiful. It would be a shame to leave that one, said the very old man. So, you're right, he took it too. And now, over there, he saw a cat which had brown and yellow stripes like a baby tiger. Oh, I simply must take it, cried the very old man. And he did. So it happened that every time the very old man looked up, he saw another cat, which was so pretty, he could not bear to leave it. And before he knew it, he had chosen them all. Look at all the cats. Oh my goodness. Now, I think that might be a bigger problem than making one cat, but let's find out what happens when he gets home. And so he went back over the sunny hills and down through the cool valleys to show all his pretty kittens to the very old woman. It was very funny to see those hundreds and thousands and millions and billions and trillions of cats following him. Oh my goodness. That's quite the parade, isn't it? They came to a pond. We're thirsty, cried the hundreds of cats, thousands of cats, millions and billions and trillions of, you're right, cats. Well, here is a great deal of water, said the very old man. Each cat took just one sip of water and the pond was gone. Oh my goodness. They were a thirsty group of kitties. And you know what? When we get to that fun part with the hundreds of cats, thousands of cats, you can join in with me. It's really a fun little poem to say together. Meow, meow. Now we are hungry, said the hundreds of cats, thousands of cats, millions and billions and trillions of cats. And I'm so glad that Roy and Ash are here too, and I miss you guys too. This is the funnest thing to do, to be able to share stories with you. There is much grass on the hills, said the very old man. Each cat ate a mouthful of grass and not a blade was left. Oh my goodness. Let's see what happens next. Pretty soon, the very old woman saw them coming. Oh, my dear, she cried, what are you doing? I asked for one little cat, and what do I see? Are you ready? Cats here, cats there, cats and kittens everywhere. Hundreds of cats, thousands of cats, millions and billions and trillions of cats. Let's see how they're going to solve that problem. Get the page turned. But we can never feed them all, said the very old woman. They will eat us out of house and home. I never thought of that, said the very old man. What should we do? The very old woman thought for a while, and then she said, I know. We'll let the cats decide which one we should keep. We've done that in school, haven't we? We sit as a class and think, which snack should we make for this afternoon? And you guys get to vote. Well, let's see how the kittens do with their votes. Oh, yes, said the very old man. And he called to the cats. Which one of you is the prettiest? I am. No, I am. No, I'm the prettiest. I am. No, I am. I am. I am. Cried hundreds and thousands and millions and billions and trillions of voices, for each cat thought itself the prettiest. And then, as you can well imagine, they started to quarrel. Well, do you know what that word means? Well, they were just doing it, weren't they? They were quarreling. So maybe another word for quarrel would be arguing? Let's find out what happens. They bit and scratched and clawed each other and made such a great noise that the very old man and the very old woman ran into the house as fast as they could. They didn't like such quarreling, but after a while the noise stopped, and the very old man and the very old woman peeked out of the window to see what had happened. They could not see a single cat. I think they must have eaten each other all up, said the very old woman. It's such a shame. But look, said the very old man, and he pointed to a bunch of high grass, and in it sat one little frightened kitten. They went out and picked it up. It was thin and scraggly. Dear little kitty, said the very old woman. Dear little kitty, said the very old man. How does it happen that you are not eaten up with all those hundreds of cats, thousands of cats, millions and billions and trillions of cats? Oh, I'm just a very homely little cat, said the kitten. So when you asked who was the prettiest, I didn't say anything. Nobody bothered me then. They took the kitten into the house, where the very old woman gave it a warm bath and brushed its fur until it was soft and shiny. And let's think what's going to happen next. And it is a very pretty cat after all, said the very old woman. It's the most beautiful cat in the whole world, said the very old man. I ought to know, for, you ready to help me out? I've seen hundreds of cats, thousands of cats, millions and billions and trillions of cats, and not one was as pretty as this one. And that's the story called Millions of Cats by Wanda Zag. Hey, I just made me think of another cat story, and I bet you guys have read some of these. Pete the Cat, that might be a fun one to check out later, huh? Okay, let's start with our next story. And as I said earlier, this little book was mine and is mine when I was a little kid. It's called Socks. And if you look at Socks' paws, it looks like the kitty cat is wearing white socks, doesn't it? Okay, let's find out why he has those white socks. Oh my goodness. It doesn't even have a title page, does it? But that's okay. Socks was a little black kitten. He had 4 white paws, a white tip on the end of his tail, and a white star under his chin. Let's go back to the cover and see if we can see. Yep, there's the 4 white socks, and there's the white tip on his tail, and there's the star on Sock's chest. He looked like his mother and father and his 2 brothers and his 2 sisters, only they were all black, except for his 2 sisters. Only they were all black, except for, little white stars under their chins. Socks and his mother and father and brothers and sisters all lived in the haymow of the big red barn on Mr. Morgan's farm. Mrs. Morgan had a little girl named Molly. One day, Molly came to the barn and found the 5 little kittens in the hay where Mother Cat had kept them hidden. I'll name you Seraphina, and you're going to be Twinkle, and you're Felix, and you Fussy, said Molly, and she patted each of the little black kittens. And I'll call you Socks, she said, as she hugged the last one in the group. So it was that Socks got his name. Every day, Molly went to the barn to play with the 5 little kittens. She fed them milk in 5 blue bowls and watched them run around after their own little black tails. Only Socks chased the little white tip on his black tail. There you go, so fun. One day, Molly brought some of her friends to the barn to see Socks and the other kittens. Oh, what a silly little kitten, said the boys. He wears white mittens on his feet. What a funny little kitten, said the girls. He has a white tip on the end of his tail. The kittens grew larger and larger, and it was not long before they were big enough to explore the barnyard by themselves. One day, Socks went walking in the barnyard. The ducks called out, "Aren't you afraid you'll get your white socks muddy?" The old hen said, "Let's pet the end of his tail." And the old turkey gobbler rumbled, "White socks, I declare. What a stuck-up kitten." Oh my goodness, all kinds of cold pricklies the barn animals are giving. Socks couldn't go anywhere without hearing something about his 4 white paws and the white tip on his tail. How he wished he was all black with a white star at his throat. "I'm getting tired of being made fun of," said Socks. "I think I'll ask Daisy the cow what I can do." Oh, every story has a problem. Remember the cats in the story we were reading earlier? There was a problem there, and looks like Socks has his very own problem. "Oh, Daisy," Socks said when he met her, "the boys and girls, the ducks, the hens, and even the old turkey gobbler made fun of my white paws and the white tip of my tail. What can I do so I'll look like my brothers and sisters?" "I don't know," said Daisy the cow. "You better ask Baldy the horse. He has traveled far." It's good when you have a problem to ask friends for help, isn't it? And that's exactly what Socks is doing, going to all his good friends to see what they might suggest. So Socks went into the meadow to find Baldy. "Oh, Baldy," he said, "the boys and girls, the ducks, the hens, and the turkey gobbler make fun of my 4 white paws and the white on the tip of my tail. What should I do to make them black?" Oh, I don't know, said Baldy after a minute. You'd better ask Grumpy the pig. She has 4 white feet too. Well, that's a good idea. So Socks crawled under the fence and went to see Grumpy. Oh, Grumpy, he said, the boys and girls, the ducks, the hens, and even the turkey gobbler laugh at my white paws and the white tip on my tail. What can I do to make my feet and tail look like my brothers and sisters? I don't know, said Grumpy. I wondered how to make my feet black. I've tried mud, but that rubs off. You'd better ask Mrs. Morgan, the farmer's wife. She wears black shoes. Maybe she can tell you. Good idea. Hasn't given up, has he? He's still trying to find an answer. So Socks went to see Mrs. Morgan. He found her sitting on the back porch, holding a black shoe in one hand, and beside her was the other shoe and the bottle of shoe black. Ring, ring went the phone just as Socks got to the steps. Mrs. Morgan hurried into the house before Socks could even tell her what he wanted. Oh my goodness. Looks like Socks is just like Curious George. He's curious about that black potion, isn't he? Socks walked over to the black bottle. He sniffed. He peeked into the top. Then carefully he put his right paw a little way into the bottle. Can you guess what happened? Let's find out. I think I know. He felt something wet and he took his paw out. There was a black spot on his paw. Was it that wet stuff that made Mrs. Morgan's shoes so black? He put all of the white sock into the bottle, and when he pulled it out, Socks found the magic bottle had changed the white sock to a lovely shining black. Do you think he's going to try out the other socks too? Let's find out. Socks put his left front paw in the bottle. It too was shining black when he pulled it out. He put in his left hind paw and his right hind paw, and last of all, he put in the tip of his tail. Each of them came out a beautiful, shining black. I'm so glad that more friends are joining us. Thanks. Now, I look just like my mother and my father and my brothers and my sisters, said Socks as he sat admiring his 4 black paws and his long black tail. My socks are gone, and the tip of my tail is black too. And even baby Magdalene is watching. Hi, Magdalene. Socks purred and purred and purred because he was so happy. Then he wrote a note to Mrs. Morgan on the sidewalk. It said, can you see what it says? Thank you. Oh, what a nice thing to do. So both of our stories were about cats, and both of our stories had a problem. Okay. Teacher Margaret's going to be with us tomorrow, and she is going to read some amazing stories too. So bye for now, and happy gardening. Okay, bye-bye.